Hey everybody, I'm that dude with the beard, and I am fucking pissed. Why? Oh boy, let me explain. I do like Spoony. I think he's a good reviewer sometimes. The problem is, Spoony has this problem. Okay, that was a little redundant and repetitive, but still, let me continue. He seems to believe that movies should only be targeted at him, and explain shit to him, but at the same time, movies shouldn't really explain anything. I'm gonna say this again, but in much simpler terms. Spoony is very picky. So I actually ended up watching his The Thing review, yes, the vlog that he made about the new movie, and nitpicked the fucking shit out of it. Now I'm going to give you the top 5 reasons why Spoony hated this movie, and I'm going to refute them. So let's get started. Number 5. The CGI. This is one of those problems that I can actually understand from Spoony's point of view, since Spoony himself is very fond of practical effects, as with mine. The problem is, Spoony typically doesn't understand the cost of practical effects in a film. You see, practical effects actually do cost a fairly big amount of money, the same with CGI, but there's a difference. Practical effects have a tendency to break, or malfunction, or anything really. You honestly can't make things out of practical effects 100% of the time, unlike Spoony seems to think. That being said, again, I understand what he's going for this one, but it doesn't stop from the next couple of points of being crappy. Number 4. She has a job. No, really. Spoony has a problem that our main female character has a job being a hard ice excavator. He seems to think it's bullshit, but I've done research. It's a real thing. Now, there are people in the comments that did say to him that it's a real thing, but you know, Spoony doesn't learn. Because as we all know, in his Final Fantasy VIII video, he pretty much hated everything about it and did absolutely nothing constructive for it. And the more I think about that review, the more I fucking want to punch Spoony in the face. Number 3. The goddamn spaceship. This is one of the points that I myself did have a problem with, but I don't think Spoony technically understands the difference between a spaceship and an alien. Why? Let me explain. Throughout his review, and I say this with air quotes, Spoony seems to believe that an alien is less important than the spaceship. So he seems to think that, when you have a living, breathing creature trying to kill you, or something in ice, you should automatically go and see the fucking spaceship. And again, I understand, but Spoony makes it a fairly big rant in his video. And I still have to say this. Why, Spoony? Why is it that you always have to make it seem like everything is wrong? But still, we're not to the biggest problem. Number 2. We don't know the characters. This bothers the fuck out of me. In an early part of the review, it was basically said that they knew nothing about the new movie characters, but at the same time, they ended up describing them in one word. McCready was drunk. Wilford Brimley was Wilford Brimley. Oh. Let's not forget the extremely bland one. Oh, that guy, he's a stoner. Yeah, stoner. Seriously, if I wanted to know he was a stoner, I would have just made that opinion about it myself. Oh, and let me just say this right now. The next one is gonna really piss anyone off who has a fucking animal, or understands animal instincts as well as their thought process. The number 1 biggest mistake and stupidest complaint by him. Are you ready for this? The alien is acting like a predator and not a methodical killer. I really want to smash my head in with this, because Spoony doesn't seem to understand that animals, as well as humans, typically have 2 very different responses. Take, for instance, a dog. A dog typically will attack anything on the sight. There's very rare times where it'll actually sneak in. Now, with that being said, humans have the tendency, I should say, to sneak as well. But Spoony, being Spoony, doesn't seem to understand that if one strategy doesn't work, you should try something else. Which is basically what this movie is. In this movie, the remake, the alien is doing its very first thought, going out there and killing them. Whereas in Carpenter's, it's slowly, methodically killing. This is one of Spoony's biggest problems in this review. He seems to think that he knows the most about the movie, and when he gets to this point, he ends up having a lot of body language that suggests that he is definitely disliking this film for all those reasons. But I'm going to make an honorable mention right here that I think everyone should be aware of. The honorable mention simply is, it's a prequel, but yeah, it's still a remake, but it's still a prequel, and yeah, it's still a remake. This is another one of Spoony's that I kind of didn't want to put on this list because it really didn't make any sense. Why? Because it is a prequel, and Spoony doesn't seem to understand research is key. I think this goes without saying, though. If you are going to watch a movie, at least do some research about it. You know, the fact that the producers and the directors didn't want to compete with Carpenter's because they thought it was a masterpiece. So yeah, that is my quote-unquote rant/top 5 list. I'm that dude with the beard saying, Spoony, you need to stop nitpicking. You need to use some logic in your own reviews. Don't apply real-world logic to a movie with a fucking alien in it. And most importantly, you're not the only audience member. And I actually really liked this prequel. Oh, and by the way, I will forever hate you for that Final Fantasy VIII review. And this one. Consider me an on-the-fence fan. I still like your Nightmare review, though. It was awesome, man. I'm that dude with the beard saying, there's no such thing as a crappy rant. Okay, maybe there is.